Hi, my name's Nathan. I go by Peteparker, and every week I do reviews mostly on Marvel comic books because that's the rule in my house. If I want to keep buying comic books, I have to review them online every time. So, this is the review of The Avengers number 12. This is written by Brian Michael Bendis and I believe penciled by John Romita Jr. Uh, if you watch the last review that I did for number 11, you will hear that I wasn't really happy with the way it turned out. They were kind of on a journey, and it was kind of overseen by an overweight and monologue by an overweight and weird-looking Uatu. But this book, the number 12, is everything that number 11 was lacking and more. This is a great end to the entire story arc. I enjoyed it thoroughly from cover to cover for sure. So here's where the story goes. Last time we saw at the very end of the book that Thanos showed up and he was guarding the Soul Gem, which is one of the Infinity Gems that Parker Robbins was seeking so that he could have his powers back. He somehow learned of the Infinity Gems and possibly the Infinity Gauntlet, probably not. And figured that's the best way to get his powers back. So he went after all those gems and started collecting them, figuring out where they were. He knew where the first one was, and then the gems kind of want to be together, so they led him to the other ones. And I believe the Soul Gem, which Doctor Strange was guarding, the Illuminati, the group of super beings who thought to prevent big threats like this from happening, hid all the gems previously, and one of the person, Doctor Strange, got the Soul Gem, so he was hiding it in some kind of weird alternate space or something. They didn't say where he was, but anyway, Thanos was there, it looked like. And they have this long conversation. Thanos is telling him that no human has ever held all the gems together before, and if you let me have all the gems, then I will do whatever you want also, but, you know, I'll be able to do it because I'm an alien or whatever. Which I know not to be true because I just recently reread the Fantastic Four series where there's alternate versions of Reed Richards who had the Infinity Gauntlet and used it. And I bring that up because I remember specifically they were talking about, they took really a notch out of the Infinity Gauntlet being so strong. It's really interesting in this book that they're trying to sell you, the reader, on the fact that the Infinity Gauntlet's like the be-all, end-all weapon of the entire universe that will could ultimately destroy everything really easily, and probably could. Whereas the story in the Fantastic Four storyline had alternate versions of Reed Richards who had the gauntlet themselves, and they specifically said that the powers of the gauntlet don't work outside of the reality that it's in. So, with that in mind, it kind of takes a little bit of the edge away from this kind of series, because really he couldn't do anything in any other alternate universe. But I just put that out of my mind and kept going through the story, and it didn't matter anyway. It turns out that it's not really Thanos, it's actually Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange, trying to pretend that it's Thanos, and it didn't work. And so the rest of the, while he's got Parker Robbins distracted, the rest of the Avengers attack him. The Red Hulk, who has the power gem, punches him in the face, which I imagine hurts pretty bad. There's a quick picture of that. You probably don't want to get punched in the face by the Red Hulk, who has the power gem at the same time. And so, because of that, Parker Robbins loses control of some of the gems, but manages to hang on to the reality gem. And he kind of fights back against the Avengers using the reality gem. One of the interesting things about this is that he kind of cycles through alternate realities. Here you can see the zombie verse from the Marvel Zombies, the original one, and down here is the House of M universe. I don't recognize this one right off the bat, and I'll probably be criticized for that. I'm sure somebody recognizes it. It kind of looks like the Ruins alternate universe, and then there's a Squadron Supreme, and then there's even the the Ultimate Universe is down here at the end, which kind of interesting. And here's a good picture too. Parker Robins' face is all busted up because he got punched in the face by the Red Hulk. I can't imagine that feeling good. It's swollen right away. The whole side of his face is a different shape. I'm surprised he lived through it. But anyway, ultimately, most of the gems are recovered by the Avengers, and they all put them together, and Iron Man actually holds them all and is able to wrestle the final reality gem from Parker Robins because the gems want to be together. And then they talk about what Parker Robins, or the Hood I should call him, what his motivations were for getting this gauntlet, and he's calling all the Avengers hypocrites, that they would do exactly the same thing in his situation, given that he lost his powers, that they would rip reality in half to get it back specifically. And Iron Man makes a really convincing speech that, no, that's not what we do, that's not what I'm going to do with it, I have it, and listen, this is what I'm going to do. He puts him back in jail, and then he wishes the Infinity Gauntlet to not ever exist. And so the rest of the team, they're like, oh, cool, that was a good job, you did a better job than I would, because everybody thinks that they do stuff. And then, because of the big punch, Captain America, or Steve Rogers, whatever you call him, asks the Red Hulk to be on the team, and then the Illuminati meet again, and they break up the gems, which the Infinity Gauntlet didn't actually get wished out of reality, because they know that there would have been worse situations if that had truly happened, and they all take the gems and hide them again, this time with Steve Rogers getting one of them, and I don't remember which one it is. It looks yellow, but, it's hard to... maybe it's the orange one. Yellow was the reality one. Orange, I don't remember what it is, but he gets it. So, one weird thing about the story at the end is, like, this page right here is really, like, detailed drawing. Whereas the page that's on the opposite side of it isn't so detailed. So it's like really obvious that this has either a splash page or whatever. There was a lot of time taken in the way it was drawn and how much effort and level of detail was done it, where the rest of it is not as detailed. I mean, it was really obvious as soon as I saw it. And I think that the same was true of the very last splash page, although it doesn't look as detailed as that one picture. So that kind of threw me off too. But, I don't love John Romita Jr.'s art, but I've gotten used to it at this point through this series, and I do tend to really like Bendis's writing, so there you go. It kind of splits the middle. But I really love this issue altogether. It's kind of the culmination of what's been happening throughout this entire arc, and it's a really great conclusion to the story. So I highly recommend you read the whole arc and not just the end. Although if you read the end, you'd be pretty happy. As a heads up, Avengers 12.1 says it came from Outer Space Night. That's not good. I don't know what people's obsession with Rom and the Space Knights is. It was good like 20 years ago, but I don't need to see him ever again. And they keep popping up everywhere. Whatever. We'll see. I mean, it's obviously at least a different cover artist. Maybe it's a different artist on the inside. We'll see. Last time when the Red Hulk first appeared and they were going into this story arc, I was like, okay, I'll just flip through this issue and I'll probably not pick up the next arc or whatever, right? Because the Kang thing was already done. But then, look, here I am at 12, picking up every issue from here to there. So, every time I expect to be able to drop something, it doesn't turn out that way. Not every time, but in the case of the Avengers, that's the case. So, this is really great. Pick it up if you like the Avengers, if you like a story with a bunch of characters, if you like a big, epic story, this is good. You should do it. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 for this time, even though I don't really love the art. But yeah, that's it. Check out my other reviews. This is the end of the reviews for this week. Check out my other reviews using YouTube or ifanboy.com or Marvel Database or Comic Vine if they're up or whatever. I try to post them wherever I can so everybody can see them. If you have any comments for me, give them. I'm always willing to improve these things as they go. So that's it for this week. Thanks a lot. And until the next time, I'll talk to you later.